is Sonia Crothers from Cherokee Focus, and this is Cherokee In Focus. And today we're very excited. We're talking to Kendall Jones from MUST Ministries. Good morning, Kendall. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning to you.
Well, it's great to have you here. Kendall is the community liaison for the Cherokee location of MUST Ministries. And we all know they do so much in the community, in the state. I mean, such a great, great organization. Now, right now, we're in the middle of partial and full shutdowns and reduced services, but remind us all of the things that MUST Ministry does at the office in Cherokee County.
I really appreciate you asking that even now, because a lot of times when I'm speaking to the community, people say, well, I didn't realize MUST did that. So I appreciate the opportunity to share. You know, obviously we do food for people. The difference between the emergency distribution we're doing now and when we do our regular services is that we have client choice when we have regular services. They get to fill out a sheet that actually puts down what they were shopping for, as if they were going into the grocery store and picking it out themselves. So they get the choice then, so they can come and get the food and the bread and the sweets and the hygiene items and the baby items, all those type of things from our regular services. We also do clothing. It's free to the client. But they can come in and shop as if they were at a store, pick it off the off the rack and be able to shop like that. We also do employment assistance, and that's the thing that most people are not aware of. We do job searches, help people do job searches and do job leads. But we tell people, even while they're out looking for jobs other places, they've got a team here looking for them as well. So we'll do job searches. We also do resume preparation. Anybody who walks in without a resume will walk out with one. We also do interviewing skills classes, because a lot of our folks have not had to go through the interview process before, and they're trying to go from an $8 an hour job to a 20-hour a week job. They're going to have to submit a resume. They're going to have to do an interview. So we'll do interviewing skills and then do mock interviews with them. And then we will continue to look for, we have built up relationships with hiring managers and with other companies, and they actually call us saying, hey, we have positions to fill. Can you help us fill them? So we can give people an inside track. Instead of going and going door to door and filling out applications, they can come here and kind of be a one-stop shop with the employment services. We also have housing in Cherokee County, several different programs. We do financial assistance for rent and utilities for people who need help with that. As part of that, we also have what's called rapid rehousing. If we have somebody who is trying to get into housing and doesn't have money to pay all those upfront costs, the deposits and the fees and security deposits and all that, we've got funding that can help them get into an apartment as well. We also have what's called supportive housing. A lot of people aren't aware of this. People who have been chronically homeless in the past due to some type of verifiable disability, they just have a hard time functioning independently in society because of their disability. We have a long-term housing program for them. We have about 40 clients in that program. We have 3 case managers who work with them, and they work with them daily to just help to be as independent as they can. But it's a long-term housing solution. They don't have to move out. They can, if they don't have income, they don't have to pay rent. If they have income, they pay a portion of that towards their rent. But it's a way of giving a long-term housing solution for that population. And then lastly, we have the motel voucher program, where people come to us in crisis who have been displaced, and we can help put them in the motel for up to 30 days so they have time to work with the case manager to try to figure out what their next step is. Because if you are living in your car, it's hard to find a job and to find a place to live while living out of your car. So if we can give them a place to live, a safe haven, and then assistance moving forward, we can try to help them move out into stability from that motel voucher program. Then obviously we have our special programs. We've got the summer lunch program coming up, which I'll talk a little bit more about later. Where we feed kids who get free and reduced lunch during the school year and don't get that during the summer. We have our Christmas toy shop program, where parents can come and select gifts for kids that they wouldn't otherwise be able to purchase for them. And then we do our Thanksgiving food box program, where people can come get all the fixings for a Thanksgiving meal and be able to have something to celebrate, just like we have something to celebrate. So those are all our services that we have going on a regular basis.
That is a lot. And, we need every one of those in Cherokee County. And we are, again, so appreciative of all of that. And obviously you're busy, and I know MUST Ministries well, and I know, there's a constant rotation of people through there. During the pandemic, how has that changed your look? How are you meeting the needs now of the people you serve at MUST?
Well, one of the first things we did on March 16th, just like a lot of nonprofits and businesses, we asked, out of abundance of caution and safety for our volunteers, we asked them to stay home. A lot of our volunteers are retirees. They're in that high risk group. And so we were concerned first for their safety. So we've had just MUST staff in our facilities. And then a lot of our MUST staff has been working from home as well. So that obviously affected how much services we could offer. So we determined that food is going to be the most critical need. Obviously, there's lots of needs, but food is most critical. So we've done an emergency food distribution. So Monday through Friday from 10 to 2, which is our regular hours, instead of people coming into the building, they drive around to our covered drop-off area where we normally receive donations, and we still do. But people will get a box of non-perishable food, enough for about 5 to 7 days. They can get bread and sweets like they normally get. And then whatever we have donated, we've had eggs donated, so we're giving out eggs. We've had frozen spinach donated. We had boxes of salad greens. We've had fresh oranges and fresh onions. Right now we have frozen chickens. So whatever we get donated, we turn around and give out to people. So, and what people don't realize is sort of like I was talking about earlier, our services center is just one. If there are 3 service centers, MUST is in 35 neighborhood pantries through schools throughout Cobb and Cherokee County. So we've done distribution through that. We actually have done distributions with the school system. Both Cobb and Cherokee have done distributions of their lunches and breakfast. We've done distributions of the food boxes as well. So overall, through our entire program, I just saw an amazing stat the other day. We've already served over 227,000 meals, almost 32,000 people in the last 7 weeks. So that's been our primary thing. But one thing we were able to work out is obviously we realized the need for assistance for rent and utilities during this time. And so we have begun offering our rent and utilities assistance again. Had to work out a way to do that virtually. Said they had no contact, so we keep our staff safe and keep our clients safe. But we've been doing that, I guess, for the last 3 weeks or so, and probably helping about 3 families a week thus far with that. So that's an important component, which we foresee expanding as things progress, as people start to have more difficulty paying their rent and more difficulty paying the utilities. Summertime's coming, it's going to be hot, and they want to keep the air conditioning on, especially for those who are at high risk for health issues. So that's an important thing as well. Our employment services, we've been closed down, but we do give out our employment specialist number. So I've had people, contact me about, well, I lost my job. As we're talking to people about financial assistance, we're able to give the name and at least give out the name and number of our employment specialist. And when they call me and say, well, I've been contacted by X number of employers, and here's 4 jobs you can start tomorrow. So whatever way we can, without risking or compromising the safety of anybody, we try to continue our services as much as we can.
That's fantastic, because again, you're an essential service to the community. And, we've learned a lot. You and I have been talking earlier about, we hadn't been through this before, but we did, and it was a learning experience. So for MUST Ministries, I want to know, how does it look on the other side for the future after going through the pandemic or getting out of, which we're still in it right now. And I don't know if you even know the summer lunch program is a huge thing with MUST Ministries, but just what do your services look like in the future?
Well, it's interesting. Like a lot of businesses, they're re-looking at the models of how they do things, and in some ways we'll go back and do that. For example, clothing, I can't see it. There's not too much way to do that virtually. So that would probably look a lot like it did before. But like with our employment services, and in this time that they've been working from home, they're developing virtual tools, working at even developing employment apps that they could share with people. Because even when during our regular services, a lot of our clients have transportation issues. So they'd come in one day, come into the office, we would do an initial assessment with them for employment services, give them some tools. All right, come back and let's do some more. Well, we wouldn't see them again because they didn't have transportation. So if we can have ways that they can do things virtually and do them from their home or from their phone, we can provide more complete services. As far as summer lunch, this is, we don't know at what point in time things will open back up. For example, right now with the social distancing requirements, there's probably not a way we're going to pull up to an apartment complex and have 50 kids run out and keep them 6 feet apart. So we probably going to have to change our distribution methods and maybe do more like we've done during this time with the school systems, and do where people can come and do a drive-through distribution. The food that we give out, we may have to adjust how we do that, because if people come once a week and pick up 5 lunches for the week for each child they have, If we give them, some turkey sandwiches, those might not look so good 5 days from now. And so we may have to look at some alternate ways to package food and get it to people. So it's definitely going to impact us. And I think it's a challenge that, perhaps, but also I think it's going to, in the long run, we'll learn some things that will benefit our clients, especially in that area of doing employment assistance virtually and online and with apps and stuff like that, because that way that tool is with them even when they're not with us. So if we can help them with that, I think that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, there's a lot to think about, and you're right. I know the summer lunch program has always been a hit, and what you're doing with the schools, because a lot of times people can't get to your location to pick up the food. And so people need to understand that. It's fabulous that we have great food banks, but if the people can't get there, or the children, their parents at work can't get there to get it, that's a huge thing to have to undertake, how that looks in the new normal. So we appreciate you and everybody at MUST Ministries for what you're taking on through the challenge. Is there anything else you want to, you can tell us what you're doing while you're virtually locked in at home? How's the kids? How's the grandkids? How's everybody doing?
Well, it's just me and my wife at the house, and she's been working from home since March the 16th. So part of it is helping keep her sane, and all that. That's kind of nice she's upstairs, I'm downstairs when we're both at home. Grandkids, it's been hard. We've done some virtual birthdays and some things like that. So that's been the hard part. I think I'll always want to make sure every time I have an opportunity to speak, just to say, we've just been blown away by our community as always. The support that we've had both financially and donation wise. Cherokee just comes through. Cherokee is one of those places where there's a need. In fact, our volunteers are chomping the bit. They're calling us every day saying, "Can we come in? Can we come in? We want to come back." So it's just been, I've been with MUST for 10 years now, and people asked me when I first started with the House of Job MUST, I said, it's a daily exercise in God's provision, and it has truly just been remarkable just to watch. I mean, you see the need, and it makes your heart break when people pull in and they get a box of food and they start crying because they say they don't have any money and they don't have any food in the house. But then to see that next person pull up and say, "I heard you needed this," and then they buy a carload worth of food and just come and drop it off. So it has been an amazing journey. It's been not without its challenges, but overall it's just been amazing.
I totally understand what you're saying. And, we've been doing this thing called hashtag Cherokee Strong. And I know a lot of people who've done events are trying to bring in food for you guys, and just want to recognize everybody that does continue to support MUST Ministries and all the services in the county, and know that you're so needed. And just like Kendall said, you're there to meet a need that chances are somebody just had, and you came up and you delivered it. So it's great. It's great. And it's great talking to you today, Kendall. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you and appreciate the opportunity to just have a conversation. It's so good to see you. I can't wait till we can do this live.
I know. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to Chris Chatham, a participant of the Cherokee Youth Works program. Chris did such a good job during his work experience with radio and ball ground that he is now a full-time employee of this wonderful company. Chris was also just honored with a spotlight story on his success in the Atlanta Regional Commission's Spring 2020 issue of The Worksource. Congratulations, Chris, and keep up the good work. Cherokee In FOCUS would like to take this opportunity to ask you to remind your friends, family, neighbors, and the people you work with that it's Census 2020 time. So go online and get counted.